When I think of Meraki, I think of simplicity and also zero touch provisioning. But that model really starts to break down in large campus environments, especially those that are very complex in their architecture. So Cisco announced the Meraki Campus Gateway, or the MCG. It's meant to really reduce some of the full redesign of campus architecture. And I'm thinking about those who didn't want to add all these VLANs to their switches and drop traffic locally from clients. Some of these campuses are already tunneling all of their traffic from their access points to a wireless controller. But the Meraki Campus Gateway is not a controller. It's really a tunnel terminator. It's going to allow you to upgrade your access points to Meraki APs and then tunnel the WLAN traffic over to this MCG. And it's going to solve things like scaling issues with device roaming. It will add redundancy with these campus gateways, and then also centralizes authentication and client traffic. Now, if I look at some of the specs here right out of the gate, the feature set that we'll have with the Meraki Campus Gateway is it'll essentially be an ARP proxy to the rest of the network, kind of similar to a wireless controller. It'll have an active redundancy, so you'll have about 2 MCGs that you could have in a cluster. It'll support lag out of the box, some VLAN pooling, tunnel configuration per SSID, and then it'll be able to scale up to about 5,000 APs and 50,000 clients. It's going to give you about 100 gigabits of throughput, 200 if you're clustered. And so APs will load balance between the 2 Meraki campus gateways. For security, you'll be able to do radius proxy on it, AAA override, adaptive policy, and then also some of the services like it'll act as an MDNS gateway and also provide Wi-Fi personal network. Now, the hardware for the Meraki Campus Gateway, it looks like a 9800 controller, kind of smells like one as well, and the SKU actually says CW9800H1-MCG. Now, where I find this a little bit limiting is it can only go up to about 5,000 APs at the moment. I'm sure we'll see another MCG that can handle a lot more APs and also a lot more clients. Now, what I also think about here is how it adds a little bit more complexity to Meraki. As Meraki tries to get into these larger networks that have complex configurations, it does make it limiting in the dashboard with what you can do. And so what we found at Mobility Field Day 13 is there's actually quite a bit of configuration that needs to be done with the MCG. It looks like a whole different menu. You have to configure trunk and add the VLANs to that trunk, where traditionally in Meraki, it is kind of trunk by default, and then you'll prune it afterwards, right? And this is just so you can get Meraki up and running, and it's a lot easier that way. So I feel that there may be some struggles to get this online, but if you follow the menus, it should be done properly. And then you just need to configure lag on the Meraki Campus Gateway and also on your switch port level. Otherwise, that link just won't come up. And so operationally, this will help a lot of these campuses migrate to cloud managed APs. It will support the newer APs. I think the oldest AP that it will support is probably the MR36, but it supports all of the CW APs, Wi-Fi 7 APs, but you need to have an MR release of R31.2 to support this. And so, again, it's really going to provide tunneling for your APs and your SSIDs. It's going to be slightly different in terms of how they're going to do the tunneling. It's not going to be cap-wap tunnels like it is with the wireless controllers that Cisco has. It's going to use QUIC, QUIC, for the control plane traffic. And then for the data plane, it's going to be VXLAN under the hood. And you don't really have to configure VXLAN for Meraki. I think they're going to do that for you. But there may be some changes. If you already have VXLAN on your network, that's where you're going to have to work with Meraki a little bit to see if there's anything that needs to be changed there. So interesting shift in dynamics for Meraki as they were largely controllerless. And now there's a controller coming into play here where, let me step back. It's not really a controller, but it is a tunnel terminator. But it very much, the messaging kind of looks like a controller. It's not, right? So it's really just to help prevent a whole redesign of your network architecture. So I'm curious if this is exactly what you're looking for on your campus and what prevented you from going to Meraki. Let me know down below in the comments.